There exists a product that you can't hold, can't see, can't touch. No factory produces it, no worker shapes it, no machine breaks it down. And yet, it generates profit without ever stopping. It's so invisible that people buy it every single day, without even realizing it. This product is debt. And debt is not the neutral tool you think it is. It is the most profitable, the quietest, the most patient invention humanity has ever created. This is not an economic history. This is the history of money and power. This is the story of humanity's oldest partnership, built with invisible chains. But here's the part that should truly make you pause. Most people have no idea where debt came from. They don't know who designed it. They don't understand why it shapes our lives, our countries, even the outcome of wars. So, do you really want to know? Then hold tight, because this story begins like a fairy tale. But it does not end like one. Debt, a promise given, a future taken. At its simplest, debt is a promise. You take something today and you promise to pay tomorrow. But inside that innocent promise lies a shadow, interest. Interest is the chain that ties the future to the present, and the brightest link of that chain always rests in the hand of the lender. In ancient Mesopotamia, people carved their debts onto clay tablets. But rulers discovered something important. When the people were crushed under debt, the state collapsed. So sometimes debts were wiped clean. A kind of year of rebirth, a kind of reset button for society. Centuries passed. Religions repeated the same warning. The Torah commanded that every 50 years debts must be forgiven. Why? Because they understood. If left unchecked, debt could enslave an entire population. But human ambition is strong, and eventually rulers learned not to erase debt, but to weaponize it. This is where the story enters its darker age. Are you ready? Because you're about to see how the entire system was built. The rise of the bankers, those who bought power, not goods. In medieval Europe, the Catholic Church banned interest. But merchants were clever, and bankers were even cleverer. They disguised loans as trade agreements. They hid debt inside complex instruments that didn't look like debt. And the system worked. Nobody noticed. Then the Medici family stepped onto the stage. Their wealth didn't come from land. They had no soldiers, no armies, and yet they financed kings. Why? Because they were lenders. And with every loan they bought not only money, but power. Debt was no longer a financial product. It had become the engine of power. But the real transformation had not arrived yet. That turning point would give birth to the most powerful empires in history. Are you ready? Because that moment is coming now. The birth of public debt, selling the future. In the 17th century, the Dutch Republic was at war. The treasury was empty. But an idea emerged: sell the future. They issued government bonds. Citizens lent money to the state and earned interest in return. These bonds could be bought and sold, and suddenly a new market was born. The market of the future. That day, the nature of state power changed forever. War was no longer financed with gold, but with the debts of future generations. England copied the model and founded its central bank in 1694. From that moment, public debt wasn't an emergency measure. It became a habit, or more accurately, an addiction. And it was so profitable that once countries entered the system, they never left. Here is one sentence that changed global power forever. The more nations went to war, the richer the bankers became. If you think the story ends here, it doesn't. This is only the beginning. Debt reaches the masses, the quiet order of the modern world. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Railways, factories, cities, all built on debt. But something even more important happened. Ordinary people began to borrow. Debt for a home, debt for a car, debt for education, debt just to live. And here comes the most brilliant illusion of all. Debt doesn't earn money once. It earns money every month. Debt needs no factory, no warehouse. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't sleep. Finance understood this perfectly, so they began packaging debt like a product. Mortgages, loans, bonds. Not enough. They tied them together and created derivatives. Debt on debt. It was like riding a bicycle. To stay upright, you had to keep pedaling. If you stopped. The story ended with one word: collapse. 2008, the day the debt pyramid crumbled. Then came 2008. The mountain of debt collapsed. The risks had been hidden, dressed up, repackaged. The system began devouring itself, and what happened next? The banks were rescued. The people were not. The debts weren't erased. In fact, they grew even larger. Today, global debt exceeds $300 trillion. Humanity has never carried a burden this heavy. And yet this burden is sold to us as progress. A bitter little irony. We are growing, they say. But the truth is, we are borrowing. Debt, the invisible ruler of the modern world. Debt is presented as a natural part of life. But the real truth is this: debt buys your future. Those with assets borrow at low interest and buy more assets. Those with nothing borrow at high interest and spend a lifetime repaying. Which is why debt is the mirror of modern class division. And now a new door is opening. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Money controlled by code. Instant penalties. Algorithms deciding your limits. Think for a moment. What happens when debt becomes a weapon in such a world? Here we arrive at the darkest pages of the story. But the real message shines right here. Debt is not neutral. It is a designed system of power. The final page, the real truth. From Mesopotamia's clay tablets to Wall Street's towers, the story has never changed. Debt enriches the lender. Debt burdens the borrower. And the greatest trick of all is that this system is sold to us as progress. If this story opened your eyes, stay tuned, because history hides the answers, and I'm ready to show you where to look.